everybody, welcome back to Software Inc., welcome back to Hard Mode, and welcome back to Nerdrasoft. This little opening cinematic's not all that interesting when it's Apartment Inc., but I realized I hadn't done a little opening camera move like this for a hot minute, so here we are. Oh, look, a bird that's not flapping its wings. I need to have a look at this. Sir, what do you think you're doing? What's going on here? Oh my god. I kind of love it. I don't know if I love it more than Software Inc. Cat, but I think this is a very close second. Speaking of which, where is Software Inc. Cat at the moment? Oh, there he is. There he is. Look at him. Look at that boy. What a good boy. He's nowhere near the apartment building. Absolutely nowhere near. The apartment is way over here, I think. Somewhere. Oh my god, this map is huge. Yeah, we're here. He's way over there, but he's still a good boy. Anyway, we are continuing to work on updating the original Bucket, and the update for it, version 1.3, is actually done. I just want to get the bugs fixed in Bucket as well, since I figure it might help the company to be a little more popular. It might get us some fans. People might generally enjoy it. It does only have 335 active users, so this might be a complete waste of time, but we'll get the bug fixes up to, you know what, we'll do 330 of them, and then just go ahead and push the update out and see what happens. There are a good number of bugs in there, but we'll see how that goes. As for Bucket 2, we're continuing to support that. We probably could try and push an update to fix the bugs that are in there, given we have 1,800 active users, but I don't necessarily know that it's going to bring anybody back. I think what we want to do at this stage, essentially, is go ahead and continue working on Bucket 3. This thing needs to be good, it needs to be fantastic. At least, it needs to be better than Bucket 2, which, to be fair, was good. It didn't make money, but it was good, and therefore we need the next one to be decent as well. Now, I have been reading the comments. I did see the comments on the last episode that mentioned that a couple of my employees are relatively useless, and I did go through and look at what my team can do at the moment. So, for example, me, I can't do anything with networking. Bella can do everything in terms of programming, but not 3D or network design. Bob can do a bunch of the good old design right there, and Bob, I think I've queued him up for, yeah, he's in class at the moment learning level 2 networking, which is going to come in handy eventually. And then Sanford and Alicia and Diane and Vera, my goal with these employees is to eventually just educate them in as much as I possibly can. And I'm thinking I can do that because if I go to my core team and I look at HR management, we could probably say 3 people can get educated at once. Oh, interesting. I suppose we should look into automatic. I mean, how many employees do we have in the core team? We have 7. Take 3 from that, it's 4. So, ooh, that's a bit rough. So let's say we have 3 programmers right now. Let's say 2 programmers. Let's say, I guess, hold on a minute. So there's 2 founders, 2 and 2. Yeah, so let's say 1 designer, 1 artist is kind of what we're aiming for. We're not selecting roles for them, though, so I have to imagine that in theory, they'll just get educated on whatever works out for them. I don't really know. I can stay on top of the educating myself if I absolutely need to, but regardless, my goal here is to get Bucket 3. It's not going to get into another iteration, unfortunately, but I would like to maybe get it at least through this first one. Although in saying that, it's actually doing quite well through its second iteration, so we might get it through a second iteration. I doubt we'll get it into a third, but this will at least, again, help to positively impact the potential quality of the product, which is what we're looking for. So hopefully good things come out of that. I am very tempted to suggest that we maybe look at porting Bucket 2 to a couple of other systems, but I don't think it's necessary. I think we'll manage without doing that. I am very tempted, I will admit, to expand the core team and maybe look into a couple more designers and maybe another programmer or two. We could, if we wanted to, lease this room here, and I think we would have the money to do it. We would just then need to bring in, you know, a few employees, and that's kind of where the money starts going. So I'm not too sure if I want to do that just yet. It might be early days. I was kind of wondering in the last episode if it was maybe too early to even go to the apartments. I mean, we're making money, right? It's kind of weird to say it might be a bit too early to have gone to the apartments here. We are, you know, making money. We do have over $1 million, and in terms of the general income of the company, it's still $19,000 every, interestingly, that $19,000 is, or in profit anyway, is coming from deals. It's not coming from sales in the slightest. That's interesting. It's also interesting that we are making money from licensing. So the 2D editors that we're making, Bucket and Bucket 2 thus far, are being used in other things, and I guess we are being paid licensing fees for those being used in other pieces of software, which is pretty cool. I'd never considered that that would be a chunk, or at least a decent chunk of my income. And that kind of has me thinking that, yeah, we should expand this core team. So let's lease this room. Let me see, what's the layout we got here? Let me go and grab all of these. I want to grab these bookcases, and I want to duplicate all of this. And I want it to be right about there, which gives us the diamond on the other wall as well. Although that is gonna, I probably should have gone with symmetry, huh? I really probably should have gone with symmetry. Oh, while we're talking about this, I did also see some comments that mentioned that if I shifted the computers over, we could get 3 more employees in this room. I 100% know we can do that. I just try to avoid sort of overloading the rooms with employees. The employees tend to not like it too much. I'm also realizing I can't necessarily go for symmetry given where that door is. So we might need to go for a bit of a different layout on this one. So let me actually go ahead and get rid of the diamond. Let me get rid of everything in the room for now, and we'll sort of go from scratch with this one. And I think what we'll do is get ourselves the same white desks, and we can sort of do this. So that's space for 3 employees, which is not too bad. We could get a 4th one here if we really wanted to, although that desk is not in a good place. So let's get rid of you for a second and, you know, figure that one out. I wonder if I did this, could I be so cheeky as to do, can I get away with this? I sort of can. I don't know that I like that, but it does work to get a 4th employee down here. And then I guess we could line a couple along this wall or something, or, you know, do something a little bit like that. Oh, I don't know that I like the layout of this room at all. I really don't like it. And there we go. We have ourselves another room for the core team. Nothing too crazy, but 6 more computers. I did also add in some noise-canceling headphones because I think that might help my employees along a little bit. I figure since we're not specializing the rooms right now, it's kind of the best that I can do. I forgot to mention, I hired some cleaning. So cleaning comes in every day now. And I also forgot that they do actually wear the headphones, which is kind of great. I don't know, what's your problem? Your effectiveness is terrible right now. You like a team member, is that right? Can I view your details and see what's going on with you? You've got a crunch hangover. That'll do it. And you also feel stuck here, which, okay, so it'd be nice if we gave you more benefits, I guess. That is also Sanford Stevenson. I guess that crunch hangover is pretty severe. I wonder, when does that wear off, though? I suppose over time? They're not still on crunch, are they? No. Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll have to hire a few more employees. Although we can do it through HR management. So essentially, we can go ahead and hire 2 more of everybody. So this would go to 4, that goes to 3, and that goes to 3. And in theory, if I speed things up, we might, and we have now seen those numbers come in. So the core team should now have a total of 13 people in it, right? It has 10 people in it. That doesn't seem right at all. Let me have a quick look at HR management. So 4, 3, yeah, that should be, oh, that is 10. It should be 13 though when you, oh, I wonder if the leaders, the founders are probably being considered as programmers and designers, right? So that's probably why it doesn't have the whole 13 in there. I guess that's fine. So I guess we can add 3 more to each thing. So if I make this a 5, and maybe make this a 5 as well. I don't think we need 5 artists. So if I do that, this should go to 13. And we should then have 13 people in the core team. Although it's only gone to 11. You know what? It's probably fine. It's probably okay. We have all these people coming in. We should now see the Bucket 3 dev process go a little bit quicker. I'm thinking we're going to finish this iteration and then push it into active development and hope for the best from there. Still 11 people. That's fine. And now I suppose Bucket 3 being in active development means we could potentially go and look at making something new, right? We could potentially go and look at maybe making another game, for example. And I'm very tempted to take a risk and make Roaster Coaster 2, because I'm very tempted to operate under the assumption that Bucket 3 is going to make money, and therefore I'm very tempted to get myself a marketing team so that we can do Roaster Coaster 2 as sort of a solo, you know, independent project away from any publisher. It's tempting. It's really, really tempting to do that. I just don't know that we're ready. $1 million it's not that much money, to be honest. It's really not that much money. We are spending, I mean, we're losing money right now. Salaries alone are $24,000. Hiring fees obviously took a chunk out of that as well. But regardless, salaries are $24,000. We are making $37,000 from deals. So, I mean, you know, we might figure things out. We might still be making a little bit of money. I think we're going to do it. I think we're going to make another one. We're not going to bother with an expansion. We're going to make a sequel, Roaster Coaster 2. It's probably going to have to use a new framework, to be honest. Or maybe an existing one, although that is going to be royalties and licensing, isn't it? 6.3% for this framework right here. The core test framework, but it does have a lot of things in it. So if we go ahead and take a look at this, currently less than a year. That's not bad. The tech level is kind of terrible though. So you know what? We will do a new framework and we'll just call it the, I don't know, the roaster, right? We'll just call it the roaster, or just roaster will do. And I suppose so. The predecessor had post-processing, adaptive music, and physics. I guess we'll go for customizable characters. It doesn't really do much for interest, though. Dialogue trees seem kind of pointless. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I'm making a simulation game. The game doesn't really care what I put in it. It just wants, you know, people to be interested. Recorded dialogue seems, I mean, it's a lot of wasted interest. But I think what we'll go for is a bit of recorded dialogue. We'll bring this tech level up as much as we can since it is a new system. And it's wanting approximately 2 years to do this, which is a little frustrating. What if I was to go for mod support? No. Branching story? No. I think customizable character is what I'm going to go for here. And we'll make this thing like $60. Roaster Coaster 2. It's got no source control because we don't have servers right now. The 2D editor for this, we're going to go with Bucket 2 and save ourselves a little bit of money there. And apparently this is the only one that is going to let me do what I want to do with it. So that's fine. And then for operating systems, we want to go with something that's going to give us consumers. And honestly, I mean, this one has come out. It's great. It's 21,000 active users. Let's go for... See, what I really want to do is go for like this, and this. Because that's a really good number of potential consumers. It's 3.9 million. So I think that's what we're going to do. Approximately 2 years is a bit more time than I was hoping for, but we'll auto-balance this. Expected interest is 94%. And if I go to a publisher and say, you know, I want marketing, they're going to give me until April of 1990. I'm actually kind of here for it. I'm actually kind of here for it. In terms of lead designer, though, we don't really have much in the way of choices. We're going to go for Bella Goth on this one. Her creativity could be better, but she's decent at game design. So let's just go for it. Although I am also banking on the idea that these operating systems in 2.5 years are still going to be popular. So I think let's cancel the publishing deal. Let's also throw this new one in there under the assumption that it's probably going to be okay. We've got this auto-balanced, and for publisher, we want marketing. May of 1990, 13.1%. Let's start developing Roaster Coaster 2 and see how that goes. We have a bit of time with this. We have, you know, obviously everyone's focusing on Bucket 3 right now, but we can slowly have the designers work on Roaster Coaster 2. It might overwhelm them a little bit. They might not be thrilled at the idea of having to work on essentially 3 things at once, because they're also doing the Playbase 8 console operating system design right now, but I'm confident we can maybe do this. We also look to need IT support, so let's go ahead and call IT support. We'll call maintenance as well, just while we're at it, to make sure everything's okay. Get everything fixed up, make sure everything's working. Support is generally doing a fantastic job, although to be honest, let's go ahead and cancel support for the original bucket. So I don't know if I mentioned at the start of the series that digital distribution has had a massive overhaul, but it absolutely has in, I think, beta 1.2, which is in testing right now. And it's interesting that other companies can now make digital distribution platforms. For example, this one has 17 things signed to it. This one has 18, and 2. And I'm very tempted, very tempted to try and open a digital distribution platform because the cut can be up to 27%, which is kind of wild. And then we can also synchronize subsidiaries to use digital distribution as well. Any company we own will use our digital distribution platform. Now, if I was to develop this, interesting. So you have to keep this thing really, like, it has to be kind of up to date, which is kind of wild. Interesting. That's really interesting. Okay, that's kind of cool that you actually have to develop it and make it a little something. Now, I don't think there's any point in doing it right now because we're obviously working on Bucket 3 and Roaster Coaster 2, and my employees are actually not thrilled at having to work on a bunch of things right now. They're actually a little bit miserable, which is slightly problematic. A few of them, for example, are getting progressively more stressed, and their effectiveness is just, you know, becoming absolutely terrible. And it seems that the stress is coming about because I think they just have too many tasks going on. So we might need to consolidate a little bit and maybe just not do this. Or I wonder what would happen. I mean, how are you in terms of skill with design and stuff? You're useless. You can only do service. Okay, so safe to say that there's no point in putting the support team on the design of a console operating system. They're not really going to do anything for us there, so yeah, that's probably fair enough. I will say I am a little concerned about the state of Bucket 3 right now. It is due out this December, and it is just about halfway done through its actual development phase. That's concerning. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to... I could develop this. I could essentially finish this. Can I just pause this? I always forget that I can just pause something and not work on it at all. And that might help my employees to be a little bit less stressed. Because I think I'm still going to get paid for that. I'm just not doing it. So again, it's just free money. Oh, there's the cat. Hello. Oh, it's a different... Hold on, that's a different cat. That is a different cat. Oh, wait, no, that might be the same cat. I actually don't remember what the other one's tail looked like. I don't remember the other one having sort of a tabby pattern down its back, but... eh. It's always nice when they come by, you know? It's always nice when Software Inc. Cat just drops in for a quick cameo in a video. Look at him. Look at that boy. Look at that boy. All right, so we're coming up to the end of September of 1988, and the good news is that Bucket 3 got to 100% on both its art and on its code. The problem is that to do that, I had to put the core team into crunch again. I'm going to take them off of crunch for the beta phase because it's a little bit easier, I want to say. I don't want to say it's easy, but the beta phase will be a little bit easier for us. For the most part, my core team members are generally going to be exhausted. They're not going to be very happy right now. But Bucket 3 is now in a place where it had 2 iterations during the design phase. It fully completed its development phase. So in theory, Bucket 3 should be fantastic. I just need it to... I just hope the marketing's good. That's essentially it. I just hope the marketing is actually good, because if it isn't, I'm going to be slightly annoyed. Now, what I am going to do is, I think, midway through November, I'm going to roll off of the beta. Well, it doesn't make sense to roll off the beta phase. I suppose we'll just release it early December and then immediately switch over to working on Roaster Coaster 2. Although we might want to switch over to working on these contracts, because I did take another one. I did want a bit of extra money, so we might want to get the Playbase 8 contract done so that my company doesn't take a hit in terms of its reputation. But we'll see how things go, is what we'll do. We're up to 39, 40, 41 bugs fixed on Bucket 3, so I hope it's good. I mean, in terms of quality, we've had nothing like it so far in terms of development. We've never had anything go through 2 iterations. We've never had anything finish its development phase, as far as I'm aware, so not bad. Even if it did take a bit of crunch, and even if my core employees are probably furious with me, we did manage to do a good thing, as far as I'm concerned. Now, it is day 2 of 2 in November. I can't see my mouse because of all this snow. There it is, right in the middle. It's day 2 of 2 in November. It's next month it goes out. It's 110 followers. I hope it's good. I'm hoping for an outstanding in terms of product quality. We'll accept everyone's demands. Let's release this. And how did it do? It is 4 stars, 5 stars, and 2 stars. So no one knows who we are, but this is 100% the best thing we've ever released. Let's take a chance on 10,000 copies, and let's take a look at the quality. It's only good. It's only good. I don't like that. I don't like that. Can we port it to some new systems? There's actually not that much to port it to, which is good. That's actually very, very good for us. So the consumers are already there. We probably just want to update this to have the latest tech level. So let's see if we can get that update out today. It looks like we might actually be able to do that, which is kind of great. I'm actually going to put the core team back on crunch for a second, just so that really gets rushed right through, so we can bring that tech level right up there. And then let's go ahead and unpause this and prioritize this to see if we can get this to an acceptable state in the next couple of days, so that whatever company that is doesn't start to hate me. But what I'm hoping for, I mean, what's marketing on this? Marketing is sparse right now, which I don't love, but this doesn't have to make a lot of money to make a profit, right? We're at $1.1 million. Let's say $1.2 million for argument's sake. 0 active users. We're going to be looking at, come on, give me something. 3,400 active users up to $1.34 million. So it didn't make a profit because marketing just ate like $400,000. But immediately, Bucket 3 has actually made money, which is kind of amazing. I'm very, very pleased about that. So what we'll do is, I suppose, we'll try and get this to a good place, or can I just develop it? I don't know if that hurt my reputation at all. Let's just do Roaster Coaster 2. Let's just focus on that for a little bit and see if we can get it done early. We have like a year and 5 months, essentially, to do this thing. So we kind of need Roaster Coaster 2 to be... It's going to need about a year of development, I think. We've been a little slow on it while getting Bucket out the door. We just went to 9.5 thousand active users as well, which is kind of crazy. We might actually want to look at fixing some bugs in Bucket 3 just to make sure that everyone's actually quite happy with us and everyone stays happy with us. Now, what's interesting is Bucket 3 is hovering around 10,000 active users, so I'm curious to see something here. If we sort by release dates, Bucket 3 came out here. There wasn't actually, well, there was a 2D editor. No, there wasn't a 2D editor last year. Interesting. Bucket 3 was the only one. The previous 2D editor was this one. It was only good, but it did make a ridiculous profit. So that's kind of curious. I'm wondering, do we need to port this to anything? Has something come out? Aha. Hold on a minute. Sort by release date. This guy is going to be eating into our sales right now. So we do need to port Bucket 3 over to this new operating system as quickly as we possibly can, so that hopefully we can get those sales numbers to start climbing again. We are also working on another update to fix some bugs and all that good stuff. Every bug that comes in is getting looked at, which is what we want. But the priority, I think, does need to be this port over to Next Thing 2, and also possibly calling in some IT support and a little bit of maintenance, just to make sure everything's okay. I don't understand how my support team manages to keep breaking their computers, but they do manage to keep doing that. And also, just really quick, Bucket 3 is starting to lose users. So this port is extremely, extremely important. And it turns out, even with the port done, it's not really done much for us. So we'll push another update out for Bucket 3, and we'll just sort of keep working on a gradual update for this thing. We'll release it eventually once we have a whole bunch of bugs to fix. But at the very least, we're staying on top of it, which is good. So the active users will be kept relatively happy. We just need to, I guess, get Roaster Coaster 2, get the second iteration done, and then everything should be fine, right? That's kind of what I'm thinking. We get that second iteration done, we move it into development, we can shift all of our focus over to Roaster Coaster. We can probably cancel support for Bucket 2 as well, since we're not really too worried about it. And yeah, like I said, it's just a case of getting Roaster Coaster 2 into a good place. I'm thinking a little bit of crunch would probably push us into that good place where I want it to be, but I really can't keep putting the core team on crunch. They go on and off of it all the time, and I would imagine if I go to manage employees, I don't imagine they're going to be very happy. Yeah, they're stressed for sure. It turns out that they're not actually feeling too awful about the crunch, which is surprising. I'll be honest, I'm a little surprised that they're not too worried about the crunch. I wonder if that's because I keep turning it on and off. Have I found a little exploit? I wonder, like, because what I've been doing is I'll go in and turn it on, right? And then this will speed up massively, and then I'll turn it off. And I wonder if doing it that way maybe avoids the negative effects of them being on crunch. I don't necessarily want to do that. I don't want to exploit to get around it, but that would be an interesting little exploit if it were one. Now, let's move Roaster Coaster 2 into development there. We might need to crunch to get this thing done, but we do have a year before it's due to go out. So I think looking at the progress already in essentially a day, I think we'll be fine. Now, before we start moving towards wrapping up for today, I'm strongly considering bringing in a completely new team, because Bucket 3 is a 2D editor and it does pretty well for us, but I would like to start looking into other things as well. Maybe 3D editors, for example, might not be a bad idea, because if we look at all software and we sort here, there are no 3D editors on the market right now. So it might not be a bad idea to take that risk. I'm also thinking I'm going to lease this room right here, and I'm going to move my character up into it as his office, just because I figure I might as well. So I want to go ahead and I want to grab all of this, and I want to, I guess, move it. So just, how do I don't want to select the employee. You know, not select me, just grab the furniture, go upstairs, and right about there. And that should still be my computer, which it is, so that's fine. We'll go ahead and grab the good old, you know, proto Nerdresoft logo. And we'll put it right on that wall, I think is a good place for it. And then I want to grab these guys, and I want to move those upstairs as well into that spot. I want to duplicate them, and I want to put them in that spot. And then what else we got? We got some bookcases. I'm just going to get rid of those for now. I don't think there's... Oh, there's a plant in here. Let me grab you, and we'll put it, I think, right down in that corner. Should be fine. And that right there gives me a little bit of space to have my own office, and I guess I could potentially turn this into a space for a 3D team. Now, if we were to do a 3D editor, which I would like to do, interestingly, it's not supported by any operating system on the market, which is slightly terrifying. So we need we need an operating system that supports 3D graphics, but I wonder, can I do this? Yeah, so we could do GPU rendering and motion capture as sort of an initial thing on a very basic 3D editor, or at least it would be again, a proto 3D editor, right? I'm very tempted to do this. We would just need system and 3D essentially for this entire thing. So let me take a look at this and let me see what we can do. I think the best thing we could do would be to select everything in this office and duplicate it. And then we'll just swing it around so that we can just drop it right in here. And that gives us enough for, you know, 6 people to work in here. I do like the idea of having a team leader in here as well. So let's try and get them like a modern desk or something. I don't know how well this is necessarily going to go, but just something like, I don't know, something like this, kind of facing that way, grab it and just move it right to the window. I think that looks fine. I don't know if this is going to block the entire room or not. I don't actually love that. Let me get rid of you real quick. Let me go for this desk instead, since it's got like the central, it's got the nice central chair. Isn't there a button I can press to like align to nearest wall? Yeah. I want to align it to that wall. And then essentially this desk is just going to go there. And that looks okay. I guess that's where the team leader is going to go. And that's going to be the computer right there with, of course, the noise-canceling headphones right next to it. And that seems fine. Maybe I give them a little lamp or something. A little lamp right about there. Maybe you get a little lamp as well. And that seems good. So this is going to have to be its own team, which means we need to go for a different color on all of these chairs. We'll go for blue. And the room itself can be sort of a blue as well. So that seems all right. That's basically going to be the makings of a 3D team right there. So we need to hire a leader, and then we're going to need a couple of people that can do 3D and a couple of people that can do systems. I guess 1 leader, 3 for 3D and 3 for systems, and we can hope for the best. I think it's that simple. That's what we're going to do.